Good morning, everybody. Welcome. Welcome to a rather creepy edition. You know what? Even ghosts don't want to change the clocks. How about that? Let's look at that as an option, right? We spring ahead tonight before we go to bed. We're watching Thoughts Count Anywhere, coming to you live from the Go Live Vegas studios in the heart of Las Vegas, Nevada. Aaron Phillips, Chief, is in the house. Mr. Matt Mullins in the house. We got ghosts in the house.
I'm going to make sure my damn life insurance is paid up right after this show.
You know, that's probably a good idea. That's probably a good idea. And you all out there, and we thank you for hanging with us. Something crazy happened there with our audio. And just to kind of tell a little before the show story, just before Chief walked into the studio about 20 minutes before we went live, Aaron and I were talking. He's nowhere near his console, and all of a sudden the radio station started playing in the studio by itself. The volume got turned up. I was like, okay, we're off to a great start. So nonetheless, we're all fixed. Volume is here. We're good to go. Gentlemen, how the hell are you this week?
Doing pretty good. It's been a long week, but a pretty uneventful week, honestly.
Well, that's good.
You deserve a slow week once in a while.
Right?
I'm doing outstanding. I'm doing good.
Well, that's good. I love it.
I'm doing good.
I'm just saying hello to everybody in the chat room. Of course, Karth is there. Principe Leon is out there. Give us a call, guys, 702-329-6947. A lot going on. Everything from Big E getting injured last night. We have the results from a pay-per-view last week, Revolution. Jeff Hardy making his debut at AEW. All sorts of good stuff. But as always, we cannot start a show properly unless we do what? We share a story. It is now story time with Mr. Matt Mullen. He wasn't ready. It's okay.
He wasn't ready.
You had one job to do. I know. Yes. Listen.
I say we belay that last.
We're ready.
I'm trying to save you time. Are you ready?
What are those?
Okay.
It is now story time with the enforcer,
Hubcaps.
Matt Mullen.
All right, it was kind of a slow week on Fremont, so I have a throwback story.
Okay. A throwback story.
Yeah.
Let's do it.
One day I was in my office, and there was a bunch of people playing around on the second floor, and I was about to get up and go get them, and I look at the camera, and the one guy's trying to ride the rail of our escalator.
Okay.
And as soon as the wall breaks, he just falls from the second floor, and I was like, "Oh shit, we're going over there." He landed straight on his back and was out for a second, and I was checking his pulse, making sure he's alive, call 911. And he kind of comes to, he's like, "What happened?" And I was like, "You're an idiot." And then his friend comes down the escalator. Once I checked the cameras after the fact, his friend literally watched him fall, never even took an extra step off the escalator, was just playing on his phone.
He didn't notice or he didn't care?
He didn't care. They were just drunk, but eventually medical showed up and took care of him. And
was he all right? I mean, afterwards?
I think so.
You can't fix stupid, so we know he wasn't going to get help for that.
And duct tape only muffles the sounds.
Stupid is as stupid does.
Exactly.
They stood him up and put him on the stretcher after they put a neck brace on him, so I'm pretty sure he was okay. It's just don't do extra stupid stuff when you're drunk.
There you go. There you go. All right. By the way, Storytime with Matt t-shirts now available on the thoughtscountanywhere.com shop page. I would bring it up on the laptop, but right now I'm not touching any other equipment.
Let's not touch anything we don't need
Exactly. By the way, on the monitor to my left, not that you see it, my left based on my front shot, we're watching SmackDown from last night and the tag team match right now between New Day and Sheamus and company. This is the match where Big E got injured. Pretty scary on the belly-to-belly, the overhead toss outside the ring on the floor. He was taken out on a stretcher. Good news is that as he was being stretched out, fan video shows that he gave the thumbs up, that he was okay. If you watched his video last night posted on social media with the neck collar and everything, he had his hand up and he was able to move it, which is a great sign. Matt, though, did see an updated video from Big E this morning, and we'll play that shortly so you can get the update. I'm sure many of you have already seen it. But just in case you haven't, we've got it ready to queue up and ready to go. But we are going to... Sin City Syndicate now is messaging me. We need to talk business sometime, Aaron Phillips.
Ooh.
What the hell could that mean? All right, well, my phone is ready. Call my people and we'll talk to your people. All right, but yeah, exactly. Here's the phone's ringing. But before we get to Big E's video, let us get into some I Hear Voices. All right, first rumor. Seth Rollins' opponent for WrestleMania was Cody Rhodes, but apparently that plan has already been scrapped. Gentlemen, I heard one alternative earlier this week on the other wrestling show that I listened to that's national, Busted Open, about the certain dead man possibly making an appearance against Seth. But your thoughts on the plans for Seth Rollins?
I don't know, but I hear like the Cody Rhodes stuff goes like up and down, like nobody knows what he's doing. Apparently it comes down to the Raw in Jacksonville if he's going to appear or not, and that's Monday.
Okay.
So if he doesn't show up, I don't know who Seth Rollins is going to go against. It's got to be some like returning person or something, because all the main eventers are pretty much spoken for now.
Braun Breaker.
Yeah, he lost his title to Ziggler, right?
Yeah.
And so that's an expectation of him being called up. Well, this is...
What about this guy? What's his name? His new name, Charlie or whatever the hell, Pete? It's Pete Dunne. But what's his new
the
name?
new Pete Dunne gimmick?
Yeah.
I don't know. You're right. They changed his name, but...
I think he's too early.
It was Butch.
Butch, there you go.
that's it.
Unfortunately, I looked away and I did not see the spot where Big E was hurt, and that's okay. Right now, we're after the match where it's a 3-on-1. But anyway... You know what? And I asked you guys this in the chat room last night once the news broke about Big E. Does that now put more spotlight on the WWE needing to bring in Cody? Now, Big E, I don't remember off the top of my head what the role for him was going to be at WrestleMania, if it was a tag team, whatever. But here you have a former champion that was downgraded, so to speak, back to tag team action on SmackDown. And does that put any pressure on the WWE to bring in Cody Rhodes now, even more so, to take that spot because of the injury to Big E?
Well, Big E is still a name, even though he's still in a tag. Even if he's in a tag team on SmackDown, being a former champion, he's still a name, and the New Day is one of the top tag teams in WWE. So I think it does need to bring like somebody in to replace him, but there's enough people on that roster that they don't necessarily need to. But
Could it be Seth Rollins versus Kofi Kingston now, possibly, for a match? With unfortunately, with Big E being out, Kofi's held the championship a couple times. That may be a way to go.
Has Xavier Woods been cleared to come back?
Not that I'm know.
I think he's close, but not yet.
Not yet?
No.
My only concern with something like Kofi and Seth, we know going into WrestleMania, it's always all about storylines, right? Usually. Okay, so you're right. I mean, it's a possibility.
Well, no matter who it's going to be against Seth, there's not really going to be a storyline at all. Really?
Yeah, you're right.
I mean,
You're absolutely right.
After this week, they got 3 weeks to WrestleMania, so
Yep.
there's really not going to be that much of a storyline.
Very true. Hi, Jennifer, out in Hawaii. Hello, Brandy. Thanks for checking
I think out of that storyline, we may end up getting Kofi Kingston versus either Sheamus or
Right,
Butch.
right.
It's the
Especially
stupidest
since
thing ever.
in what we just saw, Butch was the main factor in the post-match brouhaha.
Who was the gentleman that was in the ring? And I wasn't watching it, and I wasn't watching SmackDown when it happened last night. But who was in the ring with Big E that did the move with him?
Well, it wasn't
Ridge
in the ring.
Holland.
It was on the
outside
floor.
ring.
Ridge Holland?
Yeah, it was on
Well,
the
I'm
floor.
going to tell you what. Ridge Holland needs to go back to NXT and learn how to wrestle then, because first thing you learn is you learn to cover necks, and if he had some vertebrae in his and his neck go out, then, and if I'm wrong, Sin City Syndicate, would you call in and explain it to me, please, sir? I'd like to hear your expertise on that, if you would, because it really concerns me that people are getting neck injuries and things like that, and are the wrestlers just not covering the way they're supposed to due to an injury like that? So if you're available, I'd appreciate you calling in and lending your expertise to this matter, sir.
On your screen, you'll see a message from Vicky from Twitterland at handle purple at Purple Midnight, and she says, "No, sir." And this is a good segue. We'll play the video after this before we go on to our next rumor. No surgery is required, and there's no spinal cord damage. So many blessings in the midst of all of this. I'm just glad that Big E is going to be okay. Thank you, Vicky, for sending that in. We appreciate you following and sending that in to us. So let's. What I'd like to do, in all honesty, what do you say we go to the video of Big E giving the actual update? You guys okay with that?
Hey,
on the
let's-
heels
yeah,
of that
of course.
message?
Chief says roll it.
There you go.
Already.
So I got some really good news, all things considered. The C1 and C6 are indeed fractured. Not displacement, though, which is a very good thing. And I don't have any damage to my spinal cord, no ligament damage, and no surgery, which I'm very thankful for. And a pro tip, if you're going to break your neck, do it in Birmingham. They've been great. Everyone here at UAB has been great. But for real, it's meant a ton to me that so many of you have been so kind and reached out, stopped in to see me, texted me. I know I feel like I sound like a broken record, but I am very grateful. And I'm going to be all right. It's a blessing.
All right. On our hotline right now, calling in is our good friend of the show, Miss Brandy joins us. Hello, Brandy.
Hi, guys.
What's up, Randy?
I'm not the syndicate, but I'm a lot better, so.
Good morning, sister. How you doing?
I'm tired. I just got off work.
Oh no.
I know.
You and,
But
you and
I
Matt
wanted
keeping you and Matt keeping the same schedules now.
On
Almost.
weekends right now, I've been working graveyard, but next weekend I don't
Yikes.
work graveyard. I get to work March Madness and see all the hot little college guys. So, yeah, I'm good.
All right, what's on your mind, my friend?
I just wanted to talk about the Big E stuff.
Yes.
From what I saw, that Ridge Holland dropped him really bad, and then thank God it's just a clean, break. It wasn't nothing. It's serious, but it's still. But isn't Ridge Holland the same one that did that botch back at Elimination Chamber, where he nearly killed himself?
Yep.
What? But didn't I? I'm not sure what spot you're talking about. But wasn't he the one that
With
Ricochet?
him and Drew McIntyre?
What? But didn't he suffer the broken nose from Ricochet in that tag team?
No,
That's
I'm
why
not
he's-
talking about the broken nose. He
Okay.
was he was nearly dropped on his head in the same fashion that he dropped Big E,
Gotcha.
and it's just, I don't know. It's just, it's kind of strange to me that it's the same person in both of these botches that could have been very serious, and so maybe somebody needs to go back to school.
That's exactly what Chief was just mentioning a few minutes ago, is that perhaps he needs to review some videotape, dare I say, and somebody needs to get in the corner and work with him a little bit better on some of these spots so that it avoids future injuries. Otherwise, he's going to get a reputation of being unsafe, and people are not going to want to work with him.
Exactly. He's going to be Oldberg 2.0.
We're working very stiff.
Yes.
Desert Shark shares in our chat room saying Ridge Holland is also a part where he broke his leg on NXT from a scary spot as well. So not only has he injured, but he's also been injured as well.
That's very, very scary, because your first responsibility is to be safe in that ring with you and your opponent.
Absolutely. It's a scary thing when it's any injury, but we've seen many great careers end and then eventually come back with modern medicine when it comes to necks. Look at Edge and whatnot. But careers have ended, stone cold. Regardless of what's going to happen at WrestleMania, and it would be a shame for somebody like Big E to, God forbid, have his career curtailed because of this. But
and I pray that isn't the case.
absolutely.
I'm very happy to hear that at least he has working digits and he seems to be in good spirits. So.
Totally agree. All right, Miss Brandy, absolutely great points. We're all in agreement with that. And maybe we need our friend who we all know commonly, maybe he needs to pull him aside and teach him on the side.
Yeah.
A little special training. Brandy,
well, I'm probably going to be going to sleep, so have a great show. I love you all.
Absolutely, darling.
See you, dear.
Get some
Talk to
rest.
you. Another message through Twitter from Connor. If I learned anything from Big E, it's having a meaty neck can help protect you from getting dropped on your dome. You know what? I'll tell you what. It's not a bad point. If he's built up the muscles around the neck, that could have also prevented much more serious damage. That's not a bad point.
I want to add something in.
Yeah.
As one of our newest hockey players out here, Mr. Eichel,
Yes.
had surgery on his neck, that new style of surgery, maybe that's something Big E could have.
I'm sure they'll look at
Possibly,
every option. But like he said,
to look at it.
yeah, and like he said in the video, which you echoed, I mean,
Yes.
if you get hurt anywhere, you get hurt in Alabama.
Yep.
We're one of the nation's leading, doctors
I hate to
on
say
this
it
stuff.
that way, but Dr. Andrews,
yeah.
thanks for being there.
Absolutely.
And
so,
I'm sure Vince called his ass up last night and got him to the arena or to the hospital,
or at least met him at the
to
hospital.
get Big E checked out.
Absolutely.
No doubt in my mind.
Desert Shark shares, if Ridge Holland can't protect himself and others from these moves, then he needs to go back down to Performance Center and start training. Can't disagree with that at all. Now, let's go back to our other rumor that we have to talk about before we go to our first break.
Let me put the cheaters on. All right, go ahead.
Before we go to our first next topic. Topic.
Ding,
Jeez.
ding, ding.
Everybody's off kilter this morning. Rumor is Gable Stevenson will be in line for a Brock Lesnar-sized push when he joins Raw, and he's being fast-tracked, apparently, to get up to Raw. Matt?
Yeah, it'll be a interesting thing to see how far he's come in training, how he looks in the ring. And if he's getting a monster push like that, he must be doing pretty good behind the scenes that we don't know about, but
Could he possibly, just a thought, could he possibly show up at WrestleMania? Unannounced.
that'd be a hell of a way to debut somebody at WrestleMania.
Unannounced. All right? As I've said, and I'll continue to say, we need more secrets not revealed so that when they do come on camera, it's exciting for all of us.
I totally agree.
What if since Seth Rollins doesn't have an opponent? What if he came out at WrestleMania and just demolishes Seth Rollins?
But what would bring Seth Rollins out first? It goes back to the storyline.
I'd like-
does he come out? Let's say he
Go
doesn't
ahead,
have
go
an
ahead.
announced opponent, right? And he just comes out to the ring and starts bitching and moaning. I don't have an opponent. I don't have my body. And then, like you just said, out comes Stevenson,
You
and
know,
then they go at it.
it's a shame that Becky's got an opponent for a match.
Becky,
Yeah, because I love to see Becky come out and just knock shit out of him.
out of who?
Seth.
Becky versus Seth.
Hell yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
that would be interesting.
Let me-
The
let-
title would be the Man of the House.
Let
What?
me just let me ask you an honest
Yes.
question.
Go for it.
If something like that was to happen
Mm-hmm.
and nobody knew about it, and Seth was in the ring,
Mm-hmm.
and all of a sudden Becky's music hit,
Right.
would you get excited? Hell yeah, you would, because it was unexpected.
I'd be intrigued, wondering
You
what the
damn-
hell would happen.
Damn
What's
right.
this is about?
But
Husband
see,
and wife.
That's the kind
Yeah.
of fun stuff.
Yeah, no, I agree with you. I agree.
Just saying.
I would be like, what the hell's about to happen now?
Right, exactly.
You would say, "Take my money." Don't lie.
I'd go to the bathroom.
No, you wouldn't.
Bullshit.
No, you wouldn't.
Speaking of going to the bathroom, let's step aside for our first break. You're watching Thoughts Count Anywhere. We got over the hump of a very shaky start with audio, but courtesy of our producer, because we told him we're going to do it and the chief said so, we are going to make up that time on the other side of 11. You will get 2 solid hours. With that, We still have a lot to talk about, a lot going on, so buckle your seatbelts because we're going to go all over the place for the remainder of the show. Thoughts Count Anywhere. We'll be right back.
It's not the worst podcast ever, is it? It's the best podcast. Thoughts Count Anywhere. All your wrestling news, all your hobbit hey, all your gimmickry. Go on over, listen wherever your podcasts are downloaded. The Thoughts Count Anywhere podcast. I'm the big LG Doc Ellis. That's my endorsement. Booyah!
Introducing everyone's arch nemesis, the struggle of the strain, the impurity of immunity, the throb of the job. He is past pain, anxiety, stress, tension. Introducing in your corner, don't pay for the hype for the packaging or the marketing. Quality is the only thing you should pay for. They are Planet Harvest Health. Fight off your nemesis using premium, handcrafted hemp wellness alternatives. Boost, workout, recover, relax, sleep, focus, repeat, and more. Planet Harvest Health is dedicated to creating affordable CBD products like gummies, lotions, recovery salve, and hemp seasoning blends and rubs. Visit planetharvesthealth.com/TCA now for a limited time offer. And that's the bottom line because Aaron Phillips said so.
This is the story of one man's incredible journey from 350 to 200-pound weight loss and his mission to help and inspire others. Aaron Phillips. People are praising Aaron's new book with 5-star reviews. Aaron's various humorous and wildly entertaining stories portray his rise as a sports announcer, his encounters with exotic and irregular entertainers on the Las Vegas Strip through his long-running Vegas Unwrapped radio show, and his contagious and positive style of pursuing success. Call now or visit our website or Amazon now to get your copy of Let My Voice Speak to You, stories from a Hall of Fame radio personality. Order now.
Are we back?
We're back.
All right. Hey, I want to take the mic for a minute.
Okay. This is not your. Is this your rant?
No.
Okay.
No.
Rant is still to come. The official rant.
My buddy who from another mother, he I was his mom's coffee buddy drinker, and I'm glad he tells me I watch the radio, which I do. I'm not going to lie about that. But Sean, thanks for roping me back in and putting it into perspective about Ridge Holland. You're absolutely right. They are both big men, and accidents do happen, and there have been other injuries in professional wrestling where we have had wrestlers end careers due to maneuvers. So I'll just leave it at that, and if somebody wants to add on to it, you certainly can. But again, Sean, thanks for roping me in. I appreciate it, buddy.
Yeah, and it's great because there are always different perspectives, and Sean gives you that perspective as a father who has somebody in the business.
Yes, sir.
And that's something that us and many of our listeners can't relate to.
No.
And the additional point that he opened up with is that these are two big guys.
Yes.
And it's it's 100% right, but something needs to be looked at because somebody also mentioned early on that he also hurt Johnny Gargano in NXT. So something is not, in my opinion, something may not be right 100% clicking in some of his maneuvers. And I think perhaps someone within the company, just like Sean mentioned, should look at what he's doing technique-wise. That's all.
Yes.
And see what's what. By the way, QR code on your screen right now. That's our good friends over at Planet Harvest Wellness. You just saw their commercial. Any CBD products, seasonings for your food, gummies, etc. If you enter code TSA25, that'll take you right to the link. You will actually get
TCA25, you mean?
What did I say?
TSA.
TSA. I'm getting on a plane soon. TCA. Maybe I need some right now. TCA25. But it is planetharvestwellness.com TCA25, 25% off your order. And you also get free shipping over $60 orders. So it's a win-win.
I'm glad you're picking on him today and
Man.
not me. Yes.
I'll tell you. I'm getting ready.
It's
for
coming.
I'm getting. I'm getting ready for that clock change, and it's all screw us up, man,
Hey.
because we're gonna lose an hour.
I do
Which
have
means
a-
I get to see the Batman movie.
What time
tomorrow
does it
later.
actually change?
2 a.m. 2 a.m.
Damn, I was hoping I'd get out like an hour.
I change it whenever the hell I want to. Whatever I decide to go to bed, that's when I change
No
it.
wonder
The
you
hell
think it's like
with it.
4 p.m.
It's
right now.
2 o'clock. Change it 10 o'clock tonight. It don't make any difference. You're not going to get an extra hour of sleep. You're going to lose an hour of sleep. So what the hell difference
I'll
does
change it to
make?
10 o'clock just so I can leave work
There
an
you
hour
go.
earlier.
I authorize you to do that. And
There
if
you
they
go.
say anything, tell them the chief said so.
Now you were you ready to do your rant? I didn't mean to
Yeah, I
cut
can
you
do. I can do a rant.
All right. Well, we got to give our producer
That's
10
all right.
seconds to
He's-
bring up your
he's
intro.
He can take as much time as
Did he get the
wants.
jelly donut
He-
yet? That's
he
what I
did
wanna
not
know.
get the jelly donut.
No jelly donuts yet.
So do not touch the jelly donut in the box. That's for our producer.
There you go. Are we ready?
Call in on the phones because the chief said so. I like that. Am I?
He's got to run the intro for our rant, which
See,
everybody loves.
I'm all lost today, folks.
We are, yeah.
It's almost like we've done this before or something.
I don't know.
First time. First time. We ready to go? Run it.
Hey, good morning, folks. It is the Chief with my 3 minutes of fame. It's now 2:58, and I want to shout out to our friend in Hawaii, Miss Jennifer McCord. Good morning to you, hon. Glad you're with us. Anyway, here's what I want to talk about. I've been thinking about this, and I'm finally going to talk about it. Over this past week, well, let me preface it with this. Clark County school districts, okay? We're short on teachers. I have friends who are school teachers. I have friends who work in the headquarters of the school district. I have friends who teach all grades, elementary through high school. I, even when I retired, was tested and was told I'd be suited to be a school teacher. But for me to be a school teacher, Clark County School District doesn't have enough money because I'd be dropping the little shits on their heads. So anyway, what I want to talk about is we had an incident at a high school this past week that there was 2 instances of fights broke out, and the school had to be locked down. Now, I will be 70 years old in November. And y'all can say, well, Chief, you went to school when Moby Dick was a minnow. Well, if that's your thought, that's okay. I don't care. Here's what I want to say to you. When we had a problem with an individual in school, and this is where society went from when I was raised to where it is today. You had a problem with an individual. You waited till after school, and you went somewhere and met up, and you two put the dukes up, and you fought it out, and made the best person win. Today, fast forward, let's see, 50 years since I've been in school, 60 years since I've been in school. Today, you have knives, you have guns, you have anything you can get your hands on. So my question is, seriously, who does it fall back on? The parents? The school district? We've got police hired out here, Clark County School District Police. Are they doing their job properly? To see it on TV 2 days in a row that you're having fights at the same damn school, evidently after the first day you didn't get the problem fixed. So where's the principal? Where's the president of the school board? What's his name? Dr. Jarvis or something like that? Jesus Jarvis? Where the hell was he at? Did he even go to the school to see what was going on? I haven't heard anything about that. But I can tell you one thing, as a taxpayer, my money goes to schools. Maybe Chief needs to start going to school board meetings and voicing his opinion. Because you know what? What's happening is the good students that are in school are being hurt by the bad students that are in school. So maybe you need to take a lesson from Crazy Joe up at Newark East Side and start carrying a damn baseball bat around with you, principal. And when shit gets out of hand, you wail their asses. That's the chief over and out today.
Well, there you go. As someone who works in the school district, I'll save my thoughts on it. But somebody put in the chat room, where's the campus police? Now, budget cuts being what they are, I can tell you that some of the security has been thinned out, unfortunately, as there were cuts with everything, and not making an excuse by any stretch. Weapons were reportedly called into the school that they had a lockdown for the police to come in and check the building. There has been a lot of violence this year. I do know from news reports that investigations and look-sees into ways that CCSD can do better, like you're suggesting, Chief, are things that they're going to start figuring out what's going on. Superintendent Jara, listen, he's looking at it. He knows what's going on, and I don't know what the solution is. Unfortunately, what you're referring to as yesteryear discipline, unfortunately has gone away. We can't snap the ruler on the hands of kids anymore, and I don't know what the solution is other than expulsion and sending them to schools off campus like we had back in Jersey.
I wonder why things have changed to the point they've changed. We've allowed it to change, okay? We've allowed it to change. Us as the adults, as the voters in this country, we've allowed the rules and regulations to change. It's that simple, all right? It is that simple. I'll give you one point of view, especially for high school students. You want to bring a gun to school, you want to bring a knife to school, and you want to attack somebody else? That's a weapon. Charge them as an adult, try them as an adult, and if they're proven to be guilty, send them to the federal prison. It's that simple. That's how you stop this shit.
Well,
this shit here, that don't cut it, okay? And that's what's happening.
You're 100% correct, and I'm gonna make two comments on this.
Wait a minute, I want to make one more comment. And you know what I worry about? Huh? You know what I worry about? I worry about you as a school teacher. I worry about Sean Hyde's wife as a school teacher. And I worry about other people in our chat room that are school teachers that go into the classroom every day and try to teach and educate our children and what you got to put up with. You shouldn't have to put up with that.
Jennifer McCord, who you just indicated, she actually put in there, she's been a teacher for 22 years, and she can report that bad parenting is a big part of the blame, which was the point. One of the points I was going to make is that, listen, accountability starts at home, okay? I know when I was in school, if I screwed up and got off track one way or another, I got a size 13 hard-soled moccasin across my ass, period. I got that one time in my life, never got it again. My kids, they were brought up in understanding the importance of school and how to behave. Parenting, accountability starts in the house. Now, society today, a lot different than when I was in school. You have split parents, you have divorces, parents working 2 jobs, 3 jobs. They're not always there. I get all of that. However, accountability has to be somewhere, which is why the online teaching last year, though not the best solution, it was the only solution available. The kids were not held accountable because there was no accountability at home to learn. Last year was a lost year for education. Now, the other thing that's here, Carlos mentions the following, and I'll read his comment on this. I never understood Vegas gets so much money from the casinos, but they can't spend some of that money on the schools. Carlos, I got to correct you on that. Number one, the casino industry puts no money. If they do, it's a very small percentage into the school budget. The big issue with money is the marijuana sales. When marijuana became legal in this town about 10 years ago, the revenues from that, the tax dollars, that was supposed to be earmarked for education. Past Governor Sandoval, he decided, no, roads need to be fixed, widened, and smoothed out. And I'm going to take that money and I'm going to put that into the general budget and we're going to fix roads. And that's why there's no money to pay teachers and bring and increase campus staff, because Sean even put in there and commented my comment that school police cover multiple schools. I would love to see a forensic audit be ordered by somebody outside of the school district or this government and go up to the Capitol and audit those freaking books. And I want to find out where that money is for marijuana sales only. That was supposed to go to education. Okay, the casino monies that they put in, look, they wanted to vote a couple of years ago a $1 little lottery rip ticket, if you guys remember that, right? $1. That dollar would go to education. The casinos shut it down. They want every penny staying in the casinos, and the revenue to the state comes from the casinos. Casinos don't want $1. They want every dollar in their pocket. The money that was earmarked to help schools was the marijuana taxes and revenue. And Governor Sandoval moved that money that first year into the general fund to fix roads. And since then, nothing has ever been fixed.
They've been fixing the same roads for like 10 years.
Absolutely. I want to see a forensic audit ordered of the state books on all that marijuana money from 10 years ago through today, and see why it's not in education.
That's
my rant.
This has been a good Chiefs rant today.
Yes.
I want to ask the honest question. How, being a transplant in the state of Nevada, how many years has the state been in existence?
Since I just did this with my kids, like 1889. I mean, it's been over 100 years.
Over 100 years. I don't understand. And I'll go the last 20 years that I've been out here, 22 years now. I don't think it's the school teachers. I don't think it's the schools. But what I do think it is the incompetence of school board members that make decisions for the schools, that has the school system out here in shambles.
The board of trustees for the school system is a fucking joke. And I don't curse a whole lot with a whole lot of purpose.
No, you don't.
But the people that sit on that board, if you ever want to see Jerry Springer-like action, because Jerry Springer's no longer on TV, when the Clark County School District has their board meetings, their general meetings, and you want to laugh and you want to see the comments that go on in the chat room, it is absolutely disappointing on how people attack each other in the chat room, let alone the people that sit on that board. It's a fiasco. We are an embarrassment. I'm sorry, Chief. Not only for being last in the country for education, but if anybody ever watched any of our school board meetings, which are live on Facebook or through the ccsd.org website, and you can watch, they go on for 6, 7, 8 hours, and they accomplish bupkis. Our own school board is a flippin' joke. Maybe the Clark County School District is too big. They've talked about this for a long time, split it into smaller, districts. That might help. Better management. I don't know, but it's a joke.
I'm being a good student. I'm raising my hand.
Sorry.
Why don't
the floor recognize the chief at this time?
I want to ask an honest question. Why don't we divide the school district up into Henderson School District, Las Vegas School District, and North Las Vegas School District, and have 3 school districts?
They were talking about cutting it to 5.
Now, granted,
the talk was 5.
Now, granted, we will still have the problems that we have, okay, collectively. However, I think if you break this, and I could be wrong, and if I am, you all chime in and tell me I'm wrong, and I'll accept it. But I think if you break it down smaller into school districts, you have a tendency sometimes that you could control the problems maybe a little bit better and work on them to correct the problems.
Well, they've been talking about breaking the school district up to at least 5 school districts for, I'm going to say minimally 5 to 6 years from what I can remember. And you would think, instead of 1 or 2 or 5 people managing a school district that has 150,000 students, I don't know the exact number, but a ton of elementary, ton of middle school and high schools, you would think if you break it down to smaller regions, like most businesses are, ladies and gentlemen, you have your one director, you have regional managers, then you have, you would think it would be easier to manage.
Then they'd have to hire a bunch more board members and pay them a bunch more money.
But
and
I think that would be restructured. But you're right. It becomes, you're 1,000% correct, which falls back into the financial issue. But in the grand scheme of things, this goes back to the revenue. Okay, they would have to hire other additional assistant superintendents, whatever they need to do to restructure it. Maybe there's more regional board members overlooking the school board, not just the 5 we have over the entire system. They didn't ask me for my opinion. I missed the memo on them getting my input for this. However, you're right. It would cost more to break it up, more bus routes and everything else. But sometimes you got to spend good money to make good money.
The government just needs to stop the stupid people from breeding.
One of my
that would stop all of it.
One of my friends put in our chat room, Nevada education is last in the country, and the teachers are always blamed. The effing teachers are not the problem. The leadership of the education system here is. Well put, my brother. Well put.
Yep. Thank
It's
you,
a
Sean.
lot of the fact that it's going around like Vegas is the town that you don't need an education to make a lot of money, and a lot of kids buy into that. They'll be like, oh, I can do this and not go to school. And
Here's what's the scary part for our own city. I don't know the percentage of graduates out of high school actually stay in Vegas and work in Vegas and in the service industry, in the casinos, okay? But where I work, I am tutoring elementary kids in math and reading. Some of them are second language, so with the reading part, you take that for granted. But the math part, when students don't know how to subtract properly in borrowing and regrouping, and they don't know why you cannot do 4 minus 7 as a math problem without understanding why, and you're in those upper grades in elementary, there's a problem. How are these kids, when they get out of high school in 7 years, it's not going to be automatically fixed overnight. So,
remember in high school, we had to take a...
You didn't raise your hand.
I'm past that point.
Oh, okay. Go ahead, man.
I remember in high school, we had to take like this test, and I got like bumped out of the math class I was into a higher math class.
right.
And they told me to go to a room the next day, and I went to the thing, and it was like remedial math or something. They sent me to the wrong place.
Oh,
And they were like, this is a calculator. To use the number 4, press the number 4. And I'm like, this is high school. What the hell? Who's in here? And then they put me to the other class, and I was like, okay, but Jesus.
I'll end it on this note. I think part of the problem is that, and I'm just going to say it this way. I think teachers are afraid to fail children today. They're, we got to push them through. They got to go to the next grade. You know what? Bullshit. If a child's not ready to go, fail their fucking ass and let them repeat the damn grade over again. That's the bottom line.
I'm going to add fuel to that fire by saying this.
And maybe I'm wrong.
No. You're right.
Okay.
But here's what's coming out of the pandemic year. Okay, and I may not be 100% word for word. Sean can back me up on this. Teachers were instructed after last year, because of being online, you cannot keep anybody back this year. You must move them forward.
That's bullshit.
Okay, I mean that's what's being instructed. Now, whether teachers will follow suit and keep students back that need it, I don't know. But all I'm saying is that teachers are instructed to be very careful this year on trying not to keep anybody back because of last year, because of how far behind kids are.
Isn't it amazing how old I am? That the way I
You were
think,
taught
though,
before books.
the way I think, though,
Absolutely.
it's bullshit, man. It's just plain bullshit.
When you-
when I went to school, man, we had 18, 20 children per class.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, I couldn't get away with shit in school.
Right.
Because by the time I got home, my parents knew.
Right.
All right? They were waiting for me.
Mm-hmm.
And today, there ain't none of that no more.
Well, a lot of parents are not home, as we mentioned.
And
but
I
you're
understand,
right.
and I totally understand. I've got friends that work 2 jobs. You know what though? You got a neighbor who lives next door to you that doesn't work, you know, that the wife's home. Maybe your child could go over to their home like we used to do in the old days. We used to go to each
Somebody's
other's
house
homes.
next door,
Yeah,
yep.
we used to go to each other's home.
Uphill both ways.
We used to
In the
have
snow.
We used to shit.
With no shoes.
Hey, listen, let me tell you, I walked to school 1.5 miles in fucking snowstorms. These kids today, they wouldn't last 5 minutes, man. Give me a break on that. I don't even want to hear about that shit.
Desert Shark mentions that the problem is the school board, they brought back Superintendent Jara. Let me just say this about Jara, okay?
Nah, bullshit.
First of all, Jara is the only employee of the school board.
Yep.
Okay? He works for the school board, just like Roger Goodell works for the owners in the NFL.
The rest of them are voted in. We voted them the hell in.
Correct.
If you don't like Desert Shark, if you don't like the school board district, vote their asses out.
Absolutely. That is.
Now I'm getting pissed off.
Well, we're going to go to break very soon so we can all calm down to get back on to wrestling. But Jara is the only, and he was fired for no cause. They had just extended his contract in May for another 5 years. They would have to pay him $250,000 a year regardless of whether he was working or not. And he was brought on at a time when the superintendent prior to him left the school in a very difficult position financially. So is Jara the perfect superintendent? Probably not. Is the board the proper people? No, they're not. We have to fix it by making change like Chief is talking about or some other structure within the school board. But Jara, the only employee that the board manages and can direct is Jara. He works under their direction. He can do things, but he has to get approval of the board, and that's part of the problem. With that, it's been a great discussion. We realize it's not about wrestling, but this is why the show is called Thoughts Count Anywhere, because we are also involved in our community, and I love all the feedback, and thank you to everybody for your comments. We're going to step aside for our top of the hour break. We're going to get ready to reload for hour number 2, where we will stick with wrestling because there's a lot going on that we have to touch on with that. Thank you for watching. Our phone number, 702-329-6947. Give us a ding on the phone because Chief said so. We'll be right back.
What's up, man? It's your boy, Simple Fatu. I'm here with my man, Big Chief. I need you to check out the podcast, Thoughts Count Anywhere.
This is the Essential Character EC3 on behalf of my dear friends at Thoughts Count Anywhere. The podcast for your mind when you need deep thinking about all things sports and entertainment.
Hello, this is Martin Casals, a.k.a. Marty the Mob, and you're watching the Thoughts Count Anywhere podcast. Enjoy.
This is Impact Wrestling's Dash and Chris Bay, the ultimate finesser, former Finesse Division champion, and you're listening to Thoughts Count Anywhere podcast.
Thoughts Count Anywhere. Y'all watching it. This is my new tag team partner, Steve-O, a.k.a. Zeus, from the hit movie Friday, and from No Holds Barred.
Hi, I'm Sean Tavares. Listen to Thoughts Count Anywhere for all your wrestling news.
Hey, what's going on? This is Axe, and I'm smashing the demolition. And we want to invite you to watch every Saturday morning. Thoughts Count Anywhere.
Introducing everyone's arch nemesis, the struggle of the strain, the impurity of immunity, the throb of the job. He is past pain, anxiety, stress, tension. Introducing in your corner, don't pay for the hype for the packaging or the marketing. Quality is the only thing you should pay for. They are Planet Harvest Health. Fight off your nemesis using premium, handcrafted hemp wellness alternatives. Boost, workout, recover, relax, sleep, focus, repeat, and more. Planet Harvest Health is dedicated to creating affordable CBD products like gummies, lotions, recovery salve, and hemp seasoning blends and rubs. Visit planetharvesthealth.com/TCA now for a limited time offer. And that's the bottom line because Aaron Phillips said so.
This is John Cena. I just wanted to send you a congratulations on your podcast. Thoughts count anywhere. Because indeed they do. Thoughts are important. I mean, what would we do without them? And how can they not count anywhere? I just wonder, is there a place that thoughts don't count? I can't think of one. Well, I just wanted to say thank you very much, congratulations, and good luck on the podcast. Thoughts count anywhere, because they do.
All right, we are back. We have 60 minutes left to get in a lot of wrestling talk. I do want to say, and I just put in the chat room, I do want to thank everybody for allowing us, and you guys, terrific. You guys hung in there. You guys were in the conversation with us. Every once in a while, we come up with a topic that touches us for a lot of different reasons, and that's why our show is called Thoughts Count Anywhere, because we have the right to share our thoughts, although obviously this is primarily a wrestling show. But you know what? When it comes to kids, like Chief was saying during our break, reminding us in conversation, kids are very special. And when it comes to kids, we're going to defend and have our comments and everything else. So thank you for allowing us the opportunity for the last really 30 minutes, 25 minutes to share our thoughts on the school board. And it's all Chief's fault because that was his rant. But anyway.
Don't mess with kids that I know.
Absolutely.
Because if you do, Chief's coming after your ass, believe me.
All right, before we get in, let's talk about Revolution results first, shall we?
Yeah.
Want guys go into that first?
Let's see how we did.
For sure.
All right, 702-329-6947, press 1. Let us know what your favorite match was from Revolution, if you saw it. I know there's going to be a lot of great topic about some of the matches. What is that? Layla Hirsch defeated Chris Statler. That was like a pre-show match, was it?
The first two matches were the pre-show.
Yeah. Okay. And Hook defeated. Now, I thought it was Marshall, QT Marshall. But I heard this morning on Busted Open pronounced Marshall.
QT Marshall. He's from New Jersey, man.
So then it should be Marshall. What's Marshall?
He's from freaking Freehold.
Yeah, but so it should be Marshall.
Yeah.
It's
Was
like
he from the fancy part of
no,
the armpit of America?
There ain't no fancy
well,
part.
Freehold's not bad. Freehold's on the border fancy. So, all right.
Is that where they stick the enema in the United States?
Hey.
No, that's North Jersey.
That's a crappy thing to say.
That's up where he lives.
That's a crappy thing to say. Jesus
That's
Christ.
where he's from.
Exactly. House of Black defeated Death Triangle.
That was a good match.
Was it?
Yeah.
Yeah, that was really
That
good.
was.
What do you think of Aleister Black now being on AEW? Has he again? It's one of those questions. Has he elevated himself as a wrestler since joining AEW? Has he done anything worthwhile? I guess
when they come out, he gets a pop.
I think he's had more like creative freedom. Everyone suspects like everyone coming from WWE is immediately getting a main event push.
Yep.
But you can't immediately main event push every single person. I think he's just happy getting like the creative freedom, working with the people he's working with now, and I'm pretty sure he's happier over there than he was in WWE because he wasn't doing anything in WWE at all.
Right. But you're right. At least he's doing something. I
He's
guess
on
one way to
TV
look
every
at it.
week. His entrance is cool as shit.
Right.
They like showed pictures of his new figure coming out. That's like one of the coolest figures I've seen in a hot while.
Okay.
I'm getting a couple of them.
Okay. Hey, by the way, speaking of which, right now we're watching here in the studio from last night is the ladies tag match. Natalya and Shayna Baszler took on Sasha and Naomi. The three of us this past Sunday, ToyCon was over at the Plaza Hotel, and we all got an opportunity to meet a legacy female wrestler.
Yeah.
Right? Jenny
Santana.
I was like saying Santana.
Arriba!
That's right. And she is the daughter of the great Tito Santana, and she is part of a new women's wrestling promotion that is going to be based here in Vegas, OWW, right? Or UWW, Ultimate Women of Wrestling.
Yep.
I think their first show is slated May 21st, if memory serves. I posted pictures of it last week. And we are going to have them on the show. We're going to make arrangements to have Jenny come on and some of the wrestlers and really help promote this, because this falls right in line with what Chief's been talking. We've all been talking about it.
No,
but
you
none,
ain't.
But
no,
none
hell
big-
no, you ain't.
I'm jumping on the
Chiefs,
bandwagon.
The Chiefs the only one been talking about it. Damn, I want a women's show. I'm getting my women's show finally.
Exactly.
It comes to
Chief's
Las
always
Vegas.
complaining about a women's show, and then he calls them all fucking hubcaps. I don't know
Not
which
all
way
of
he
them.
ever goes
No,
to.
no. Not all of them.
I want a women's show.
Not
They're all
all.
horrible. They're all hubcaps.
No.
But I want a women's show.
No, there's only one that I call hubcap.
The rest
There's
are just
like 10.
And
the
she
rest-
is a hubcap.
the rest are just spare tires. But anyway, so not only but not only do you have UWW, but now we have the WOW, right?
Yeah.
With Tessa Blanchard and company. So there are more and more women promotions getting the spotlight. I think it's great.
And with WOW, they have a good backer.
And Glow.
Their backer's a woman too, Jeannie Buss.
Yes,
with
that's
the
correct.
Lakers.
With the Lakers, that's correct.
Heard she's got a couple dollars to spend.
Yeah,
Just a few.
Just
it's a
a few.
write-off. That's
Yeah.
all. So it's just a write-off.
Anyway,
Isn't
let's keep going with the results.
Isn't
here.
AJ Lee involved in that? Behind
she's
the
one of
scenes
the
too?
producers.
Yeah,
Yeah,
she's
right.
one of the producers.
All right. So the next match, Eddie Kingston defeated Jericho.
I won that one. I called it Kingston. Yes, I did. Eddie Kingston.
Didn't we all? I don't remember.
I don't
remember.
I don't know.
Sure we did. We all
It was
called
one
it.
of the good matches. It was one of the better matches on the show, though, for sure.
Absolutely. Got rave reviews.
And I'm glad
the
that,
handshake.
and come out of it. Wednesday night, and Jericho started a new faction.
That's correct.
So
The Jericho Appreciation Faction or something like that?
Society.
Yeah,
Society.
society. So hey, that's a good storyline. Something come out of it.
Jurassic Express defeated Young Bucks and Red Dragon to
Yeah.
retain the AEW. I think we all picked Jurassic Park anyway. I think we
No.
picked that to retain.
You
I didn't.
You guys
I don't even know
picked-
who Red Dragon is.
This guy
Bobby
picked
Fish and
Red
Kyle
Dragon.
O'Reilly.
Oh, he may have picked
He
it.
picked Red Dragon.
I know. I took.
You and I,
Jurassic.
no bullshit.
I don't know Red Dragon. How would
You
I
took
pick
the
them?
Young Bucks. I got it marked down right
No,
here.
You just marked that down before.
I got it marked
I
down.
said you'd
here.
grab the pen during the break.
We,
But I did call the next match,
yes,
though.
we did.
Yes,
Wardlow.
you and I did.
Yes, we did.
Wardlow won the face of the Revolution ladder match.
That was a no-brainer.
Yeah, that was good. I think he's due, right? I mean,
Yeah.
I think we're all in agreement with that.
He's getting a hell of a pop.
I'm
and
wondering
when-
when Wardlow's going to have a match with MJF. You think that's going to happen?
Well, yeah, didn't he kind of screw him with against CM Punk?
Yeah, give him the ring.
If it doesn't happen like sooner than later, it might happen at Double or Nothing in Vegas.
That would be great.
That would be. Do you think? Excuse me. Does he have to go up through Sean Spears first, and then
Probably,
then
but-
get to MJF?
I think he gets the TNT title shot like next week.
Yeah. He ain't gonna win it though.
No.
Jade Cargill defeated Tay Conti to retain the TBS championship.
I lost that one. I called Tay Conti.
I think I
I did
said for the
too.
retain. I think I'm the only one that went the other way. I don't know. I can make this shit up because I don't remember what I said an hour ago.
Well,
let alone
you get.
It's on the internet.
You're
on the
you're
internet.
getting older anyway. So.
Oh my God! I'm gonna skip the next one purposely for a moment. Britt Baker defeated Thunder Rosa to retain the AEW Women's Championship.
I called Thunder Rosa, so
I
lost.
really thought
lost
Thunder
that one.
Rosa was going to win.
Did I say Britt?
I think we all said Thunder
Did we?
Rosa on that one.
Damn, I'm trying. John Moxley defeated Bryan Danielson.
Yeah, I called that one. There was no doubt.
Now this is surprise return here, wasn't it?
William
At the end
Regal.
of the match.
William Regal got a hell of a pop in that.
Did you see him Wednesday night apologize on TV?
As
Yeah.
he did social media prior to that, I guess
Because
he,
he
was
was going too long?
Yeah.
And
Now,
he apologized. See, that's class in wrestling, fans. That is class in wrestling. You're taught certain things, and Mr. Regal, and I've admired him for a long, long time.
Mhm.
When he was in the when he was wrestling,
Right.
I'll put it
When he
that
was
way.
active.
Yeah, and I
Active
won't
wrestling.
tell you the WWW or whatever. Anyway, class act. He's going to bring, in my mind, he's going to bring a lot to the shows. Not only being on camera, but being behind the scenes.
Now,
too.
rumors also come out, and I read this morning from what I read in a story, that his health is not as good as he may appear on television. He's
That's why he said he made a comment about short life.
yeah. So something's going on with his health behind the scenes. Perhaps at some point we'll learn more. But having him coming out and now basically corralling Moxley and Danielson now as a tag team, which he'll obviously be involved with, will be an interesting dynamic.
I would love to see them get Hook involved with.
Moxley and Danielson?
Yes, I think that would be a good move for the young man. I really do. Even though Taz is his dad, I think individually it would be a great move for him to get even more in-ring expertise.
It's possible.
Wouldn't it hurt like the main event scene for like two of the top guys just to be in a tag team? That's kind of like when Almost and AJ and Randy and Riddle were in tag teams. Like, why are AJ and Randy being used like this? But they ended up being two good tag teams, so could be something cool out of this, but it could be a waste of time too.
Well, we'll look at the Bar. You know,
Yeah.
when Sheamus and Cesaro got put together, it was out of nowhere. It was just, and then all of a sudden, they were probably one of the best tag teams at the time when they were working together.
If you're putting those two as a tag team and then you reunite the Hardy Boys,
well, let's face
literally that night.
Yeah.
I mean, let's face it. I would think at Double or Nothing is going to be the Hardys against the Young Bucks. That would be my take. Okay, I could be wrong. I hope I'm not wrong because I really want to hopefully see it out here.
Maybe them against Moxley and Danielson.
I'm okay with that too.
Yeah.
You know what? I've never asked anything of you two gentlemen. The one thing I would like to do when AEW out here is I want to meet Moxley face to face. I want to shake his hand and I want to say to him, as I would say to a gentleman in Impact, big tall guy about 6'10", I'm very proud of you two.
We are on the list as an approved media people
Yeah.
with AEW. Maybe we try to put in a request for Mox.
Already gonna try working on that.
Oh yeah,
I mean, I'm not trying to put anybody
because
on.
I will cancel any vacation
No,
if
no,
we get
no,
him
no.
in.
Listen to me. I'm not trying to put anybody on.
No, but
on-
I know
on-
why.
On the pad.
Yeah.
I just want to meet.
Yeah.
Moxley.
I agree.
Like I wanted to meet Jake, and I want to meet and talk with the big tall guy again. Because I had an interesting talk with him, Mr. Morrissey, walking down the aisle, and it was just him and I, and it was a good chat.
I might be able to make that happen. Just make sure you're free that week.
Never mind.
You're always free, but whatever.
He's always free.
I'm free, but I'm not cheap.
I was just going to say that. 702-329-6947 is our phone number. Press the number 1 if you're outside the United States. 1-855-502-4321. Special shout out to everybody listening on the Go Live Vegas mobile app and or Alexa. Remember, you can access Go Live Vegas through your Alexa device. All right. Darby Allin and Sting and Sammy Guevara defeated AHFO.
I almost had a heart attack when Sting jumped off that balcony. I was like, yo, whoa.
Through 2 tables.
Yeah.
What are you saying, man? That a person of his age can't do stuff like that anymore?
Well, normally they don't.
I was saying normally
Hey.
they don't, and you almost don't want to see him hurt himself.
You know what though?
And he didn't hit the table square either.
I'm gonna throw one out there. Stone Cold Steve Austin's gonna open a can of whoop ass, and I'll leave it at that.
Stone Cold's also just gonna stomp him, kick him, stun him, and that's about it. He's not gonna go jumping off the top of the set
You don't
on the
know,
Kevin Owens.
You never know what Stone Cold's gonna do. Let's face it.
Are we convinced it's going to be a match of sort? Or is
Right-
it going to be one of these
right
just
now
like
it's
confrontations?
right now it's a verbal thing, ain't it?
Right now it's a confrontation. He's gonna end it. At the end of it, Kevin
He's gonna
Owens is
stop
catching
mud-
a stunner.
He's gonna stop.
question.
He's gonna stop a mud hole in him.
That I agree with. He's definitely going to take a stunner at the end of that as well. All right, make sure you send us your tweets as well using hashtag ThoughtsCountAnywhere, and we'll address them as we happen.
Hey, I want to throw something out there to our friends down in Florida in that area, Kentucky and Tennessee. I hope y'all are safe. Some tornadoes went through there last night and I guess early this morning, and I just heard from Mr. Will Hudson down in Florida replying to me that him and his family are safe, and to Kev Buckler and his family down in Ocala, they're safe also. So, if I haven't heard back from you, shout out from Thoughts Count Anywhere, sending prayers, hoping everybody's safe.
Absolutely.
I've never understood since I was a kid. If you can move anywhere in this country and you go to a place called Tornado Alley, and in your head you're like, oh, this is a great idea. If I hear the word tornado, I ain't going anywhere near it.
That's right. That's right.
Some of us got stationed down there and didn't have a choice.
Now, the next
Well,
match.
you left when
but
you had the
that's right,
chance.
right. You got out, exactly. AEW Championship. We predicted here on this show successfully that Adam would win. That was
Yeah.
our prediction, right? Adam would win. Either way.
Adam did win.
Adam did win,
Correct.
yes. Hangman Page retained his title against Cole. I don't see Page losing the title really anytime soon because of how long the storyline lasted for him to actually get the title from Kenny Omega. It was almost 2 years, a year and a half, whatever it was.
Cole's been in the company, about 6 months now?
Yeah.
So, I don't see Page. I don't see Page losing it yet.
I want to
Carlos,
see him lose it at Double or Nothing.
to who? Who would you like him to lose it to?
MJF.
MJF? Carlos coattailed the comments about Kentucky. He says the property value is cheap down there. LOL.
Because you have to rebuild constantly.
That's right.
There's been 10 houses on the same dirt.
I know they're.
Oh.
I know they just had a snowstorm down there.
You know, I'm sorry, Sean put something in there. Just remember, Owens is the only person Austin has given his blessings to about using the stunner. Maybe Stone Cold gets stunned. Maybe Stone Cold gets stunned by the end of the segment. Talk about getting over.
That'd be some
for Owens, wouldn't
That'd
it?
be cool as hell.
Jeez. All right. Last match I want to talk about from Revolution, the dog collar match. CM Punk, MJF. We saw Wardlow come out thinking he was going to help MJF. He apparently had a little trouble finding something in his suit jacket when he came out after winning the earlier match, which ended up being a distraction, I believe, to sort of help the win for Punk. Bloody mess of a match.
Yeah, it was. That was a crazy.
But
it was a good
CM
match,
Punk
though.
prevailed. So, thoughts? Other than it being crazy, which
That
it
was
was.
a crazy good match. That should have been the main event because that's hard to top.
I'll give it. It was a good match. Okay. However, it sure as hell wasn't Greg Valentine and Roddy Piper dog collar match from 1983.
Yep, which is the one that Punk referenced.
A flair for the gold.
Yep.
Charlotte Coliseum in Charlotte, North Carolina.
Mm-hmm.
I was there for it.
Right on.
I was there for it. And it was a great match. Don't get me wrong. Okay. But when Piper, and I'm just saying this, when Piper had his ear almost ripped off by Valentine, that was damn real.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So I'll just leave it at that. It was a good match. I think both performers performed well. I was glad to see MJF lose because I don't like him. Okay.
I emailed him to try to get him on the show, and I specifically said,
Did you tell him Chief didn't like him?
There's a guy
I
named
said-
Chief on our show that can't stand you,
I
and
can't.
you have to go all in on this guy.
I can't stand
if you
him.
come in on here. I haven't heard back yet. But
It's not that I don't.
Oh my God, I would die laughing.
I don't like him, and I'll tell you why I don't like him. Because he's rude to children. Period. Okay? Enough said. That's
the
all.
best stick of the whole thing.
No. You
So-
don't. You're not. You can be
Fuck them
rude to
kids.
us. You can be rude to us all you want. Okay? But when children look up, you're not rude to them.
The kids even play into it.
Because that can scar the children the rest of their lives.
They can't add. They ain't going to remember.
Maybe you
All right.
can add.
We're going to step aside for our first break. We come back. We're going to talk a little more, and then at the bottom of the hour,
The first break of the new hour.
correct. Then at the bottom of the hour, we'll go to our second break, and then from 10:30, we'll take it straight to the top. How's that?
Hey.
Because we got a lot to do so that we haven't touched on. You're watching Thoughts Count Anywhere. Still love to take your calls, and when we come back, we'll be right back.
It's not the worst podcast ever, is it? It's the best podcast. Thoughts Count Anywhere. All your wrestling news, all your hobbit hey, all your gimmickry. Go on over, listen wherever your podcasts are downloaded. The Thoughts Count Anywhere podcast. I'm the big LG Doc Ellis. That's my endorsement. Booyah!
This is the story of one man's incredible journey from 350 to 200-pound weight loss and his mission to help and inspire others. Aaron Phillips. People are praising Aaron's new book with 5-star reviews. Aaron's various humorous and wildly entertaining stories portray his rise as a sports announcer, his encounters with exotic and irregular entertainers on the Las Vegas Strip through his long-running Vegas Unwrapped radio show, and his contagious and positive style of pursuing success. Call now or visit our website or Amazon now to get your copy of Let My Voice Speak to You, stories from a Hall of Fame radio personality. Order now.
Introducing everyone's arch nemesis, the struggle of the strain, the impurity of immunity, the throb of the job. He is past pain, anxiety, stress, tension. Introducing in your corner, don't pay for the hype for the packaging or the marketing. Quality is the only thing you should pay for. They are Planet Harvest Health. Fight off your nemesis using premium, handcrafted hemp wellness alternatives. Boost, workout, recover, relax, sleep, focus, repeat, and more. Planet Harvest Health is dedicated to creating affordable CBD products like gummies, lotions, recovery salve, and hemp seasoning blends and rubs. Visit planetharvesthealth.com/TCA now for a limited time offer. And that's the bottom line because Aaron Phillips said so. All right, welcome back. Make sure that you check out.
What are we talking about?
Make sure you check out Planet Harvest, our newest sponsor and supporter here at Thoughts Count Anywhere for all your CBD organic needs.
Hey, Principe. Good morning, buddy. How you doing? Where's your cohort in crime?
I'll finish. Can I finish the commercial?
Big Duke.
QR code is on the screen. Scan it at any time, live, or if you watch it back, takes you right to our page, our link right on the Planet Harvest Wellness website. Use the code TCA25. You get a 25% discount. And if you order $60 or more, you qualify for VIP shipping, which means it is free shipping.
$3.99.
Chief approved. And I apologize for interrupting.
That's all right. That's right. From my understanding, the great April Hom from Glow has placed an order, and she's behind it.
Chief approved.
Chief approved. All right.
Calling on the phones because the chief said so.
Love it. All right. Thank you, Garth. We appreciate it. Nyla Rose has said no more Swanton Bomb as her special move after Jeff joined AEW out of respect for Hardy. So let's talk about that. Jeff made his, again, not a surprising, highly expected debut. And this past week, and then
Wednesday, as a matter of fact,
yes,
sir.
And then they changed Matt's contract, signed him to match Jeff's contract. So now, in terms of length of time, I don't know about dollars. They now both have the same length of contract, so they can stay together, presumably until that contract ends. So it's good. I mean, Jeff got a great response. Yeah, I mean.
That place went nuts. It wasn't that Jeff came out that surprised me. It was the music he came out to surprise me.
Their music.
I was like, huh?
Tony Khan bought the music, and they came out in their old ring gear.
Yeah.
And as somebody said, talking about Mr. Regal and apologizing, you do certain things in the ring. Jeff did his dance in the ring. Everybody accepted it for however long
We have
it
a
was.
call. We have a call coming in. At this time, as always.
I can't believe somebody's interrupting me.
Well, listen, it's your favorite person.
About time.
Mr.
No,
Desert Shark joins us. Shark, what's going on, bud?
What's going on, guys? Sorry to interrupt you, Chief.
Hey, did you go to wrestling last night?
I did.
How was it?
Tell
me the truth. So good?
It was good.
Okay.
My only problem is too many matches.
Okay.
They want to do a super card.
All right, we'll leave it at that.
All right, he's got some comments he wants to make about AEW. Hit us, brother.
So let me tell you guys this. Going to the movie theaters for a wrestling pay-per-view I think that's going to come back now.
Okay.
So I went to the Orleans, and they were showing AEW, and the crowd that was also there, we all get it, and it was fun.
How much did it cost you?
It cost me $20
to get in. That's not bad.
Yeah.
That's not bad.
Yeah, and it's those reclining seats too.
Well, shit.
That's very important.
Hey, the next time it happens, man, send me a message. Maybe Mama and I'll come down. You know, we'll have a party together.
And it's not just the Orleans too. They also showed it at South Point too.
All right.
So you got multiple movie theaters, and it was a great experience for me. If you guys, I'm gonna set it out for everyone that's listening. If you don't want to pay $50 for yourself, when you're watching yourself, if you're watching like with a group of people, that's fine. $50, you can get like money from them. But if you're gonna watch it for yourself and you want to watch a pay-per-view, go to the movie theater.
When go to the Nerd for free.
True, but
they don't have reclining seats, though.
True.
Yeah, they don't have reclining seats.
So, what did you think of the show?
The show was amazing. It's kind of like how I said about last night's local wrestling show.
Right.
I would have cut like a couple matches. Like
what matches would you have cut out?
I would have cut the TBS championship match with Jay Cargill and Ty Conte. I would have cut it to like the pre-show.
Okay. And why? Why would you cut that one out? Cargill's undefeated. She's 27 or 28-0 now.
I understand that, but there's a time constraint, especially when you're on pay-per-view time too.
Well, shit, the show went 4 hours.
It did, but
that's way too long.
They probably spent the extra hour for that, because usually when we're watching AEW pay-per-views, they would end around 8 p.m. Right?
Yep. Okay, I'm listening to you. I'm listening.
Yeah. So if I had to like cut a couple matches, it would have been the Cargill match.
Okay.
And I would have also cut the 6-man tag, even though that was a great match. I think that was highly unnecessary to be put on the pay-per-view. Now I do get that it involves Sting and others, but still, you can still cut that and put it on Dynamite.
So with all due respect to you, as a friend of mine, I'm going to say this. I would not cut any championship matches off of a pay-per-view. They're champions. They deserve to be on the pay-per-view. If you're going to do anything, you can cut them. You can cut the storyline of the matches back so that they fit. Okay? That's just my opinion.
No, I totally get it.
Shark, do you have any general comments about AEW? It sounded like you were going to make some general comments and thoughts about AEW.
That was just my general comments.
Okay.
Like it felt like a super card. I felt like the match card was a little bit too big, but overall the show was great. AEW, you can't go anything wrong unless they do something wrong.
So let me ask you an honest question. If you feel that AEW's pay-per-view of 4 hours was too long, what do you feel about WWE's WrestleMania being 2 days?
Still too long.
16 matches.
I'm just I want to make the comparison.
Personally, I like the split because because they've had long WrestleMania nights when you had 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 matches. At least over 2 nights, you can kind of digest it a little bit better. In my opinion, I kind of like the 2-day format. Now, 16 matches may be a lot.
I will say this about the 2-day WrestleMania matches. They've been making it really good on time constraints for 3 hours. So I will give them that. However, when we all would know about WrestleMania, it was one night, but as time went on, when WrestleMania started becoming a 10-hour show, like if you were there live, that's like that you're just oversaturating it and making your crowd more tired.
Well, think about
Thank you.
Think about the SmackDown of WrestleMania weekend. You're gonna have the show, and then they're supposed to be doing the Hall of Fame inductions after SmackDown, right?
Yes.
And it's
yes.
supposed to be 90 minutes. Some of the individuals, which may even just be put in digitally, through a video rather than being there, because they're going to limit it to 90 minutes.
Hopefully, Undertaker takes 88 minutes.
I'm just trying to make the point, though, to honest point out. If some people feel that a pay-per-view of 4 hours is too long, is a pay-per-view of 2 days too long?
It won't be where we're all in there in SoFi Stadium next year.
That's the point I'm trying to make.
Well, who knows that next year's WrestleMania will be 2 days? We don't know that yet. We only know
I agree with you.
the certain date with that.
The point I was trying to make is the time frame.
Oh, yeah.
That's the point I'm trying to make. And we're all entitled to our opinion. And I will.
One of the things we complain about is all these wrestlers not getting enough TV time that deserve it, right?
Yeah.
So here we have a WrestleMania that's now 2 days, okay? And there'll probably be some throwaway matches, garbage matches. Not every match is going to be the best. They'll probably all be on the pre-show. But now we have plenty of time for some of these performers who don't get as much TV time as they should to develop their story.
But here is the problem, Aaron.
Go ahead.
Here is the problem. You have matches that consist of Logan Paul, Johnny Knoxville, and all these other celebrities. And on top of it, you also have WWE legends on the card as well.
Mm-hmm.
So that's also the problem with it, too.
Well, that I agree with. John, and I've been saying Knoxville getting involved 3 months ago or whenever it was with Sami Zayn was bullshit. Logan Paul, this is not his first rodeo, though, in the ring performing as a wrestler. But
if you go back and look at some of the very early WrestleManias, you will see that there are people like Liberace in the ring, Cyndi Lauper in the ring, Mr. T in the ring.
But those all came out on earlier to help build the spectacle, I think.
Let me finish.
Don't forget Billy Martin was there.
Let me finish. Let me finish, please. I try not to interrupt you.
I'm just trying to move things along.
And you have a 4-hour show, one show, 4 hours, and they're all involved in it. And the storylines are cut in time so that it's a 4-hour show, not a 2-day show.
Shan, I'm going to let you go, bud, because we got to move on. As always,
No problem,
thank you
guys.
for your call.
Love you, brother.
But Sean,
right, have a good one.
Sean puts in here something quite interesting as a comparison. WrestleMania is the biggest spectacle of wrestling. It should be long. Look at the Super Bowl. It is always an all-day extravaganza, not just a 3-hour game.
Yep.
And I dig that comparison because you can start at 9 Pacific time, 9 a.m., 7 a.m. You're watching ESPN and all the pregame, and 3 days before they're starting to hype all the commercials are going to start coming out and everything else. I get that point. I think that's an interesting, perspective to compare it to.
I don't disagree. I personally don't watch all that. I watched the last quarter of the Super Bowl, and that's enough of it. You're going to know who wins. That's all I need to watch. I don't need to watch the whole thing.
I get you.
Same thing as my colleague to the right of me says, there's certain matches that you're going to get up and go get your snacks and go to the bathroom and you're not going to watch them. Well, that's true too.
Yep.
Even then, when I went to WrestleMania Live at WrestleMania 31, everyone was so eager to go. Everyone was on the trolleys as soon as you can go. The line was ridiculous to get in. Everyone just chanting, "Let us in, let us in."
I forget which one I went to in Jacksonville, Florida. Okay, Liz and my dad and I went, and it was fun. It was a great show. To me, it's a show. I want to see the wrestlers.
A question came in on Twitter, which has gone through the screen from, I think it was John Alba, I think was his name. asking us a question. Which WrestleMania show at MSG do we think was the best? Interesting point. I'll let you guys ponder that.
WrestleMania
Yep.
at MSG.
Yep, which one was the best? I'm going to let you guys ponder that because we're going to
110
step
or 20.
aside. Huh?
110 or 20.
Well, whichever one. We'll ponder that because we're going to take our last break.
Wow.
And we're going to go until we decide to stop, making up the first 10 minutes. You're watching Thoughts Count Anywhere. We'll be right back.
What's up, man? It's your boy, Fatu, over here with my man, Big G. I need you to check out the podcast, Thoughts Count Anywhere.
This is the Essential Character EC3 on behalf of my dear friends at Thoughts Count Anywhere. The podcast for your mind when you need deep thinking about all things sports and entertainment.
Hello, this is Martin Casals, a.k.a. Marty the Mob, and you're watching the Thoughts Count Anywhere podcast. Enjoy.
This is Impact Wrestling's Dash and Chris Bay, the ultimate finesser, former Finesse Division champion, and you're listening to Thoughts Count Anywhere podcast.
Thoughts Count Anywhere. Y'all watching it. This is my new tag team partner, Steve-O, a.k.a. Zeus, from the hit movie Friday, and from No Holds Barred.
Hi, I'm Sean Davaria. Listen to Thoughts Count Anywhere for all your wrestling news.
Hey, what's going on? This is Axe, and I'm smashing the demolition. And we want to invite you to watch every Saturday morning. Thoughts Count Anywhere.
This is the story of one man's incredible journey from 350 to 200-pound weight loss and his mission to help and inspire others. Aaron Phillips. People are praising Aaron's new book with 5-star reviews. Aaron's various humorous and wildly entertaining stories portray his rise as a sports announcer, his encounters with exotic and irregular entertainers on the Las Vegas Strip through his long-running Vegas Unwrapped radio show, and his contagious and positive style of pursuing success. Call now or visit our website or Amazon now to get your copy of Let My Voice Speak to You, stories from a Hall of Fame radio personality. Order now.
This is John Cena. I just wanted to send you a congratulations on your podcast. Thoughts count anywhere. Because indeed they do. Thoughts are important. I mean, what would we do without them? And how can they not count anywhere? Is there a place that thoughts don't count? I can't think of one. Well, I just wanted to say thank you very much, congratulations, and good luck on the podcast. Thoughts count anywhere, because they do.
Introducing everyone's arch nemesis, the struggle of the strain, the impurity of immunity, the throb of the job.
He is past pain, anxiety, stress, tension.
Introducing in your corner, don't pay for the hype for the packaging or the marketing. Quality is the only thing you should pay for. They are
Planet Harvest Health.
Fight off your nemesis using premium, handcrafted hemp wellness alternatives.
Boost, workout,
Recover,
relax, sleep, focus, repeat, and more.
Planet Harvest Health is dedicated to creating affordable CBD products like gummies, lotions, recovery salve, and hemp seasoning blends and rubs. Visit planetharvesthealth.com/TCA now for a limited time offer.
And that's the bottom line, because Aaron Phillips said so.
All right, welcome back. All right, so we were asked via Twitter about what your guys' favorite WrestleMania card at the Garden, and Desert Shark put in his opinion was WrestleMania 20, so I'll go around to you guys.
I would say WrestleMania 10.
And why is that?
Because of the Shawn Michaels Razor ladder match and then Bret Hart winning the title at the end of the night.
Okay.
And that match with him and Owen was crazy, too.
Off the hook.
Okay. Chief?
Whatever the oldest one possible is.
WrestleMania 1.
Told you.
And why is that?
That's the first one that got it all started.
It's old school.
But if you think about it.
On the radio.
On the radio, you're right. In black and white, not living color.
We need a shirt for that.
You stop and think about it. the music that came out of it with Cyndi Lauper, as we talked off screen, and Captain Lou helped building it up. That music is what's led through the years. And you can call it old, you can call it whatever you want. Yeah, I am old, but that's okay. I can still remember and see a hell of a lot more better matches than what we've got today.
Lies.
And you know, so it's built up to where it's at today to help Rock to get where he's at, a multi-billionaire. John Cena to get where he's at in the movies. And Hulk Hogan got into the movies. Our producer gave us a comment about...
Was that a question that came in through your chat or something?
Might have been who was the first wrestler, you know, to go into movies? Well, it was Hulk Hogan.
Right.
As
Rocky. Yep.
As my man Matt said, Thunder Lips. You know.
I said it too.
You said it too. Okay. Well, hey, you know, I've only got one, I'm listening on one ear. You know, so I listen on this side.
You picked the right side.
But I mean, you know, so. In my opinion, you know, it's WrestleMania 1, you know, and that's where it's all been built up. You know, it's built up, and we're getting ready to see the greatest spectacle, number 38, down in Texas.
If you're ever having trouble sleeping, just turn on Peacock and watch WrestleMania 2.
Nah.
That's the most boring thing I think ever put on television.
I'll be glad when it goes back to WWE and it's not Peacock.
You know, I love Sean for a lot of reasons. He's a big fan, supporter, but his last comment, he says, I have Chiefs back. WrestleMania 1 was on closed circuit. He didn't need the radio for that one.
Hey.
But I
was he able to figure out how to order it?
Let me put it this way to you.
There's a lot of steps to order close.
Is there enough tinfoil?
Let me put it this way to you guys. It took me 1 hour from Trenton, New Jersey, to go to Madison Square Garden by train.
By train, yep.
Okay?
Yep.
And
Train
I walked right up the damn steps.
There was.
From the train station, I was at Madison Square.
Yep.
I was at WrestleMania 1. I saw it.
Hell yeah.
All right? And then, did you see the one down in Atlantic City? At the Trump Mahal?
Yeah.
Huh?
Yeah.
Live. And
Yeah.
in
living color?
In living black and white.
I almost said that.
Well, I have to agree. For me, it's WrestleMania 1 for the same reason. It was the first one. It really changed the face of wrestling, and we know because of the Lauper and everything. That's where WWF, which then became WWF.
For you folks that don't know, the Worldwide Wrestling Federation.
Then eventually the WWE, but that's really where McMahon turned wrestling into the entertainment. Okay, and
Yes.
to me, it was
Yes.
WrestleMania 1. And also, too, at the time, pay-per-views were special
Yes.
because they were only held like quarterly from the Garden,
Yes.
the Mecca, right? So now we've got them every couple of months with all the promotions that are out there. The pay-per-views are not as special as they used to be overall.
No.
But that was when pay-per-views were something to behold because of them being so rare.
You know, when you had it at Madison Square and Madison Square sold out, then they went over to the Felt Forum.
That's right, where you can watch it.
The
That's right,
overflow.
That's right. The Felt Forum.
You know,
my
you
goodness.
think about, and you know what? I say this with all respect. I'm thankful that in infinite wisdom, Vince McMahon has taken the pay-per-views to what they are today. Okay, he had the vision to do that. And I'll give the man his due. And I'm glad to see it happen. And I hope Tony Khan takes some lessons from Vince on how and when to do pay-per-views. That's just my opinion.
I don't know if I want to see AEW pay-per-views every month. I kind of like how they're doing it now, like quarterly.
Well, that goes back
And
to
then
old
they
school
do like the
styling.
specials.
That way we're not, that way, in my mind, Matt, the wrestling business isn't getting saturated with pay-per-views.
Right.
You know?
And that's going back old school philosophy of not overselling and diluting.
Show it 4 times a year.
My concern with wrestling, and I asked you guys this a couple of weeks back about whether wrestling now is starting to get too diluted because of how many promotions there are. I mean, every night of the week you have wrestling. Now, as a wrestling fan, you want as much as you can. I get all of that. But there's so much to watch. Oh, why is that, Mr. Producer?
Why is WrestleMania 3? Can I ask why?
In Detroit? That was in the Detroit one, the Silver Dome.
I
Okay,
was-
well, WrestleMania 3 was Aaron's favorite.
I almost
Our
said
producer.
Cobo Hall.
But to me, my concern is that there's a lot of wrestling and there's a lot of stuff that's going on that it's lost its specialness, like with the pay-per-views. I mean, that's...
And you know, I think the other thing is, and I'll just throw it out there, and we've said it before, there's a lot of wrestlers in the business today, and there's only a certain amount of slots for wrestlers to get on TV.
Right.
Do you saturate with more TV shows, or do you cut back on the wrestlers that are seen on TV?
I think it'd be diluted if we saw the same people on every show, but there's different people on every show, so I don't really see it that saturated. It's just more entertainment. I just happen to fast forward through stuff just for time purposes, because when you work a lot of hours, it's hard to watch like 30 hours of wrestling a week.
I just go on to Google and I look at the highlights of the show. I just type in the show results. I read kind of what happened. If there's a video that I want to watch, because there is a lot. I don't have like you. I don't have that
You don't
time.
have the time,
You know,
like I do.
Yeah. Well, no.
No, and I
no.
But that's the truth of
No,
the
but
matter,
yeah,
man.
but there's so much. I mean, you can listen to Busted Open and you hear Tommy Dreamer talk about how he just watches 14, 15, 20 hours of wrestling a week. Now, that's his profession.
I can't do
That's
that.
literally his job.
No,
Yeah, well,
exactly.
Yeah, exactly. No, I totally agree.
I'm sorry. Sean puts in there, he says, Aaron's original question was what WrestleMania and MSG was the best. But yes, Mr. Producer, WrestleMania 3 was incredibly impactful in the industry as well. LOL. What?
Smart.
Oh,
Hey,
well,
Sean.
He's being sarcastic. by
Sean,
the way.
quit being. Hey, Sean, quit being a smart ass.
Okay, let's get it. Listen, fortunately, we have not mine. Don't cut.
No, we're
out.
good.
No. Fortunately, we have an extra 10 minutes that we're going to go to make up for the opening, so I don't have to rush too much. But let's go over just some quick headlines. Let's give some quick feedbacks. This is going to be like rapid fire stuff here. Thoughts on RK Bro winning back the tag titles?
That was cool. I was glad to see it.
Liz was very happy that Randy Orton got his title back.
Okay.
She said it was well deserved.
There you go. We know about that. We're going to skip those next two. Vince McMahon and Tony Khan's salaries for 2021 were revealed. Vince made $2 million and Tony Khan made 1.2.
If you believe that, I'll sell you the Brooklyn Bridge.
Well, they're just talking salaries. They're not talking worth and
I'll
assets.
sell you the Brooklyn Bridge if you believe that.
Johnny Knoxville went old school for those of you who used to sit on the beaches of seeing the planes fly by with the messages, which was kind of cool. Johnny Knoxville bought a plane, fly around L.A. with Sami Zayn's phone number written on it. WWE to announce 7 more matches, which, as you mentioned earlier, would bring it to 16. What's your thoughts on Dolph Ziggler winning the NXT title? We know Breaker's going to come up at some point. We know that's probably why he lost it. But why does Ziggler? And what does that do for Ziggler on the main roster, for that matter?
Is that the only title that he was missing of winning, and now he's won all of the titles, I believe?
He's been World Heavyweight Champion. He's been U.S. Champion. He's been Intercontinental Tag. Yeah.
I want to thank...
And I think that's the only reason that he's won it is because that was the one he was missing in his career.
But that doesn't consider him to be a grand champion. The grand champion is all the main roster titles.
He's won all the main roster.
I think that he went up to NXT because he's known as like one of the best workers going today, and he can make like all these new guys look like $1 million.
So
which is what they need.
On Twitter, Skyfire JCD, thank you for sending in this message. At this point, Tony Khan is running 2 wrestling promotions. We haven't even talked about his involvement for ROH yet.
No, we haven't.
A soccer club, and has at least partial ownership of the Jags. The man needs to let someone help him. Now, thank you for your comment, Skyfire. Now, I don't know how much he's involved with the Jags. His dad primarily is a big name behind the football team.
Yeah.
And I think his dad's big name behind Manchester United also.
As well. But he's probably dabbling. But now that comment is right because now he's going to be involved in programming ROH.
And we haven't even talked about it. Well, I'll just throw one question out there. What do you think is going to happen with ROH now?
I think it's going to be a separate entity name of matches. I don't think it's going to be a developmental level.
I would hope that the wrestlers that aren't on TV on Impact or AEW, maybe they're moved down onto ROH. And why should I say moved down? They're going over to ROH and perform on ROH. And maybe some other wrestlers that are on the independent circuit are going to be able to step up and go to ROH.
But ROH still needs a better TV contract. That's that. I mean,
I'm sure with Dad's money, they're going to have a contract.
Sure.
The only step down now in wrestling is going from NXT to the main roster. I don't care what anybody says. That is where you don't go.
Going from NXT. You know, I heard an interesting comment this morning about NXT.
Yes.
That was the worst show on TV this week.
And AEW actually already has a developmental program. It's called NXT.
Right. And you heard what I was listening. You and I both heard the same comments this morning on the show.
Yes.
Let's see, a couple other topics. Let's talk about the Hall of Fame. Vader announced to be inducted into the WWE Hall of Fame.
Posthumously.
Right.
I wouldn't want to be inducted the year Undertaker is because that's all anybody's going to remember.
I heard, and I don't remember, but I heard a third name.
Well, the Steiner brothers' name had come up, and I saw an article where, and this is the topic of conversation.
One was going to go in and
Rick,
one wasn't.
Rick was the one that was getting the nod to be nominated to go into the Hall of Fame and not Scott. So I want to get your thoughts on that.
Rick's the Bulldog guy, right?
Correct.
Yeah.
Correct.
That makes no goddamn sense other than his son is Braun Breaker.
I mean, but does Vince really have, does WWE really have that kind of bug up their butt regarding Scott that they wouldn't acknowledge him with his brother as the Steiner brothers wrestling team?
I would think if they're going to go in my mind, they would go in as the Steiner brothers. You know, if you're not going to do that, then the fellas should say, thank you very much for allowing us to be considered, but at this time we want to go in together.
Now, if there's an issue, maybe there's an issue between Rick and Scott, that Rick should say, well, listen, if you're not going to have my brother go in, then the same thing. And I agree with that. But I'm just, other than the son, I'm wondering the politics behind that, because I think that could be a bad look if you only put in Rick and not Scott.
But Vince said it's all, in his mind, it's all about business. What's good for business?
Not putting in the multi-time champion brother. But
and that's
the
Marty
Jannetty of the Steiner brothers.
That's what he said on McAfee's show. What's best for business? It's all about business.
That's kissing Braun Breaker's ass to be like, please come to the main roster. We need you.
We'll
put your daddy in the Hall
And of course,
Fame.
we know Steiner doesn't Scott really is not a big fan of WWE anyway. But yes, they should be together. Scott did have a great run solo, but if you're putting Rick in, Rick was one of the best tag teams at that time in WCW.
What kind of Hall of Fame package can you make of Rick Steiner without his brother in this video at all?
Right.
You could bark at him, woof woof woof,
Yeah.
like
and riding the coattail of a tag team. And thank you, Scott, for putting this in there. Two gentlemen we had on our show. A new fan club is being started, which hopefully you will hear more about. Demolition should be in the freaking Hall of Fame.
A long time ago.
Yeah, a long time ago.
A long
and
time ago.
not on the Undertaker's card.
A long time ago.
You're right. Anybody going in with the Takers, it's like, who died the same day when Michael Jackson died? Does anybody remember?
Farrah Fawcett.
Farrah Fawcett, exactly.
Stop and
Thank
think
you.
about it. We talk, and today we talk, or I hear, Young Bucks, Red Dragon.
Yeah.
I'm trying to think of who we hear from WWE. Tag
RK
team wise.
Bros.
RK
The
Bros.
Usos.
Okay.
New
but
Day.
Stop and think about it. If it wasn't for people like the Steiner brothers, Demolition, who we've had the honor of having on this show. Great guys who should be. Vince, if you're listening to me, put damn Demolition in the Hall of Fame, but not on Undertaker's show, please. Greatly appreciate it. And McAfee, if you're listening, you're still a jabroni. Anyway,
greatest announcer in wrestling.
But you
currently,
hell no.
Currently,
if you think
Name
about
someone
it
better.
though, they are some of the best tag teams that ever wrestled in the business, and in my mind, they're not getting their just due.
Part of the problem is Vince is not a fan of tag team wrestling now. That's the thing.
I
Individuals.
don't know. I remember a tag team called Rocky Johnson and Peter Maivia.
I said now.
Okay.
He's not a big fan of tag team wrestling now because the teams, except for maybe RK Bro, maybe the Usos, the teams are not selling the merchandise. It's the individual wrestlers. So I'm not saying you go back to the archives for tremendous wrestling teams like what you just mentioned. But now over the last, 10, 15 years, it's well documented. The tag team division is not a high priority for Vince.
You do know who Peter Maivia and Rocky Johnson are, right?
Hi, Chief.
I'm just checking.
No.
I'm just checking.
Maybe they're related to The Rock somehow, maybe.
I'm just checking.
Oh, interesting comment on Twitter from The Dames says, I can never relate to Vince McMahon. I actually like wrestling.
Thank you, the Dames.
That gets the
You're
comment.
right on, buddy.
That's a comment of the day.
That's a comment, maybe the year so far, but definitely that is the highlight of the comments. All right, before we go back on to some of the other topics as I'm watching the clock, let's hit some birthdays, shall we?
Happy birthday to you.
That's right. It's
Happy
time for some
birthday
birthdays.
to you.
Now, I just want to remind everybody, if you know of a birthday that you'd like us to announce, you need to go to our Facebook page. Thoughts Count Anywhere on Facebook, and please post out their birthday so Chief can grab them, and we'll be more than happy to send birthday wishes dedicated from you to whomever.
You'd have to send it to him on Stone and Chisel.
That's right. On the radio.
On the radio.
Don't send it fax. Use it on mimeograph
And if you
paper.
don't send it on the radio, you look on the screen, there's my play toy,
That's
so
right.
I don't mess
There it is.
around.
That's what he uses to write his messages with. All right.
Exactly.
The happy birthday music you're hearing in the background, courtesy of Pocket Aces. Got to give them their props. So if you're celebrating a birthday today, March 12th through next week, the 18th, you are celebrating. What the fuck? Celebrating with these former and current and dead and living wrestlers. I don't know. Mae Young, the mother of the hand with Mark Henry.
Did the crotch shot with Mark Henry.
That's right.
Oh, yes, she did.
Hideo with Tommy.
He's still getting the cobwebs out of his mouth.
That's why it's called Chocolate Thunder.
Oh, my God. Whole new meeting for dry mouth.
Go ahead.
But anyway, March 13th, Matt Jackson. March 14th, Santino Marella, which, by the way, I thought Santino was one of the best comedy wrestlers. He first got introduced seriously.
Good shtick.
But he had good shtick. Absolutely.
Yeah, buddy.
March 14th also. Celebrating birthday is Wrath. The 15th, another great wrestler here, Iron Sheik. Jordan Devlin and the aforementioned MJF. Maxwell Jacob Friedman. Gives us Jews bad names. March 16th, Henry O. Godwin, Steve Armstrong. March 17th, the great Samoa Joe and Test, who's no longer with us. The 18th, Rick Martel, EC3, CYN, right? And Vanessa Bourne. I had to make sure I had the letters right. Control your narrative.
You
Holy
know,
crap.
there's another one that needs to be in the Hall of Fame.
Who?
Rick
Vanessa
Martel.
Bourne?
Oh, yeah, Vanessa. Rick Martel?
Rick
Probably.
Martel.
Yeah,
he
absolutely.
definitely needs to be in there.
I'm not. I know you saw. By the way, happy birthday again from all of us to all of you celebrating.
Absolutely.
Be safe, be happy, and enjoy your birthday night. Have a good time. That's the bottom line.
Did you have Brian Clark on that list on Monday?
Yeah, Wrath.
Yes, I did.
Oh, okay.
Yes.
Thank you.
I have him on Facebook.
She's got it under
He's-
control.
Once
but
in a while.
I sent you guys a message about a name that now is.
Hey, here's a good point. Vince didn't like tag teams because it was 4 payouts instead of 2.
There you go.
It's all about business.
Well, that's why they
And
made
that's
$1
what
billion.
I said.
That's why they made $1 billion. So anyway, but did you see who's joining Control Your Narrative next? I shared the article in our chat gut. Dongo.
Okay.
Bet you
Okay.
he's not going to be dancing around that place.
Now he's just going by the name Dongo. Is that
He's
right?
probably
or whatever it was?
he's going to
Dirty
get
Dango.
thumped like
Dango.
hell.
He's what?
He's going to get thumped like hell.
He's going to get something.
Hey, if you want to watch a good, wrestling show coming up, probably sometime within the next month on. I can't think of the TV station, but anyway, shit.
Sounds like, looks like.
No,
This
keep
is the
going.
best commercial ever.
Keep going. Keep going.
All right, let's hit some other hot.
Fucking Matt made me
Let's-
lose my train of thought.
I'm going to just
Son of a
quickly
bitch.
bullet point some topics here. Ronda Rousey said she will be around for a while after WrestleMania. WWE 2K22 was released. You have it, right?
Hell yeah.
How is it?
The game is awesome. The graphics are crazy.
Versus has a show today at 4:30. Shant wants us to announce. I guess I just did. Rick Boogs and Shinsuke will challenge the Usos at WrestleMania. Hulk Hogan thinks fans will remember him as the greatest wrestler ever.
I literally laughed out loud when I wrote that.
Well-
He'll go down as like putting the biggest like influence and like putting his mark down on wrestling
Yes.
and like putting it on the map. But as far as like being the greatest wrestler ever, I wouldn't even put him in like the top 10.
Brian Flanders at Red So Deep shares
No
with us,
comment.
for the first time in probably like 20 years, I really want to buy the new WWE wrestling game. That's a good sign. Good sign for them.
Who said
but
that? Brian?
Gentleman on Twitter. So
Brian?
while you're out there, Brian, go to thoughtscountanywhere.com, buy some swag.
Hey Brian, tell us why you want to buy the new game.
All right, let me keep going with some topics here. If we get his comment, we'll pop it up there. Paige Van Sant attacked Tay Conte during the main event of Dynamite.
Yeah.
Scorpio Sky won the TNT Championship, and Paige signed her AEW contract.
You know what? I'm glad to see that our gentleman here who won the championship. I'm glad to see it. It's long overdue. He's a fantastic wrestler. I really hope he gets a push now, and he keeps the belt on him for a little while. And there was an interesting comment I seen at Jay Cargill's. There's 3 wrestlers on AEW that are all African American.
Yep, champions, yep.
That are champions.
Guys, just everybody watching, I'm just going to ask you to continue reading the comments in the chat room because did you just blitz that one real quickly? Okay, no, I didn't get a chance. Okay, that's fine. All right, some other topics. We touched on that one. Reports say a powerful person at Warner Media stopped the signing of the Briscoes to AEW. And that was because of some comments.
I want to know why.
Well, I heard it was some comments years ago that they made that were not, let's just say, politically correct nowadays. But years ago.
Go back to like anybody's past. I probably said some dumb crap at some point. You gotta let it go. This cancel culture nonsense is.
Let's cancel it.
Stupid.
Let's cancel,
the cancel culture. Yeah.
Exactly. Hashtag cancel the cancel culture. There you go. We
Like
said
you
it.
said something stupid 20 years ago. You can't be successful now.
Sting said the wrestling in WCW was better than it is in AEW. If I were Tony Khan, I would not be happy with a comment like that.
I read that and I was like, I had to like triple check what I read to make sure I was reading it right.
Can I have the floor for a minute?
Oh, here we go. Starcade
We
86 or something.
We literally only have a few minutes, but go
We
ahead.
have 9 minutes.
Bet.
Okay. What I was going to talk about, Major League Wrestling, the show, MLW. Davey Richards versus Hammerstone for the championship.
Okay.
Killer Cross versus Jacob Fatu.
Ooh.
The Von Erichs were on there going against, I do not remember who has the tag belts, but there's like 5 or 6 great matches that are on this show that are broke up, and this radio station is, or the TV station is BN. For me, it's radio station, but it's BN, B-E-I-N. Okay, I watch it every Saturday night, and they have good matches on there. So I just wanted to throw that out there.
Okay.
If you want something a little different.
There you go. All right. I
That
like
took the whole sum of 1 minute.
No, I know. See,
Well,
but
you
but
bitch,
I
you bitch.
No, I
well,
didn't
we
bitch.
only
All I
got
said was
we
how
only
much
got
time.
this little bit.
Couldn't
I
be any
took
worse
1
than a
minute.
half
I
hour
took
about the
1
Clark
minute.
County School District.
Hey, that's all right. Everybody got into it. We had good feedback.
Fuck them kids.
Sean puts in there some background. The Briscoes were shut down in WWE as well several years ago. It was stated that they weren't aesthetically pleasing. He believes that AJ Styles' WWE theme was originally written for them. That's interesting side
Hey,
note.
what did I read about the Briscoes? Something with their contract or something. They weren't.
I don't know. Well,
I don't think he's paying attention to the last 2
I
minutes
guess
of this show.
well, he was writing. So you want
What the hell did I miss? Where am I at?
Somebody high up in Warner Media stopped the Briscoes from signing with AEW.
By the way,
Okay.
Carlos says that bien, B-E-I-N, means good in Spanish, like muy bien.
There you go, my brother.
Sean brings up an interesting contest. Okay. Great show today. Thank you, Sean. Thanks for the conversation and topics. His question is, can we give Mr. Producer a name going forward?
Donut Man.
So we need to have a competition.
Mr. Oblivious.
But let's get some comments. Paste them on
I like
Facebook.
that. I like that one.
Post your thoughts and comments for a name that we need to give to our producer besides Donut Man or Put Your Finger in the Jelly or whatever. I
He'll
think
never
that's-
live the Vicky Guerrero thing down. That
No, I
was
know.
the funniest thing ever.
Hey,
Who's that? He?
Who's that?
I wonder how our girl's doing.
Which one?
Miss Vicky.
Oh, she's been busy as all hell. I can't get a schedule to get her to come on the show or even to pre-record. She's so busy. Good for her.
Good for her.
Real quickly, Josh Alexander returned to Impact Wrestling as well. And we already we touched on it, but Britt Baker is going to have to defend the women's title against Thunder Rosa in a steel cage match on Dynamite.
I'm afraid that's where she's going to lose the title.
I was going to ask you, what do you think? You think so?
Probably.
Possibility?
It's a good chance.
But then you think they'll have it back at Double or Nothing?
Hopefully.
Rematch?
Hopefully.
I'm just asking.
Carlos suggests the Baker's dozen.
The Baker's dozen. That's a possibility. You know, talking about the...
Too long. That's too long, Shan.
Talking about...
Thank you, Jennifer.
Miss, what's her name?
Good old what's-her-face.
Tito Santana's daughter.
Jenny.
You know, one of the ladies that is on the wrestling organization is Vicky's daughter, Shaw Guerrero.
Yes, I did see that. Yes,
See,
absolutely.
I got some hot shit.
So Shan puts in there,
Mr.
You
Finger.
don't think she's a hubcap?
first he puts in Mr. Man behind the camera. That's way too long.
No, I
and
like
then-
Mr. Finger.
And then Mr. Finger. I think that's well for the donuts, not that finger, the donut jelly. But Mr. Finger, that's in the running, like Cousin It.
I was just
or Thing, not Cousin.
I was
Thing.
just doing my Jake
Jake
impersonation.
All right, real quickly, ladies and gentlemen, I'm proud to announce baseball is back. For anybody who cares.
Hallelujah.
Yeah, that's right. And they are going to donut hole. Oh my God. And they are going to get all 162 in, which means that the first series or two that were Mr. Nose Donuts. Oh my God.
And then they're going to make it up with some
Double headers or-
9-inning double headers.
Yes, instead of the 7. So pitchers and catchers, or everybody's supposed to report. I believe-
13th.
13th tomorrow? I thought next week.
13th.
Okay, and then they have two weeks of spring training to get going by April 1st.
Yes.
So baseball
And
is back.
I think
and,
the first spring training is April 5th, if I'm not mistaken.
But if the season opens April 1st, there's going to be
Or
no spring
no.
training. You mean the season opens April 5th?
Yes.
Right. So there's going to be quick workouts for a week, a couple of spring training games. Listen, Major League Baseball, Major League Weekend used to come here every year. I don't know what it was supposed to be next weekend.
So let's throw
I
it
don't know
out
if they're
there.
rescheduling that at all.
How many? Oh, and the other thing is too, if teams that are scheduled to go to Toronto are not, if you're not vaccinated, you're not getting in.
They still have that issue. So
Yes, they
so
do.
Toronto's but they
Blame Canada.
But they went back to Toronto last year though for games.
I'm telling
No,
you.
no, I hear you.
wait.
Which is
I'm
why Toronto played in
I'm-
Buffalo.
I'm telling you what I read on
Okay.
CBS Sportsline.com. If a player is not vaccinated on a team that is going into Canada to play, that player is not going into Canada.
Like Kyrie Irving of the Nets.
Correct.
Right. I got you. All right. Well,
Thank you.
quick reminder 2 a.m. in the morning, Sunday morning, or before you go to bed tonight, move your clocks forward 1 hour.
And I don't care if it's 10 o'clock tonight. Set them ahead. What the hell's the difference? Matt, you want to set yours ahead? Tell your owners the chief said so.
If it was only that easy.
I do actually change all my clocks before I go to bed.
I do
get up at
too.
2 a.m.
And it's normally 9:30.
That's about when I'm hitting the sack too.
Except tonight.
What do you got tonight?
I watch wrestling.
Oh, see? Not me.
Yeah.
I'll be in, whenever my eyes start closing, that's it. Anyway, hey, we want to thank everybody for sticking around after we had a little shaky start. But great
Yeah.
Show today. Great
Yeah,
great
yeah.
interaction with everybody. Great
Yeah,
stuff.
Good time.
Managed covering just about everything that's on the sheet.
The chief fires everybody up.
That's right. Chief fires everybody up. Thoughts and prayers once again going out to Big E. We want to wish him a speedy recovery. Please do not rush your return until you are 100%. Please. Okay? All right, gentlemen, final thoughts as we wrap up.
Everybody have a good, safe week. Have fun.
Hey.
Oh, what?
Sean. Sean, Chief used a sundial, so he's good.
Hell yeah.
That may have to neck and neck with the one we got online.
That's my brother from... You know what? I got to tell a quick story.
Real quick.
Sean's mom passed away a few years ago.
Okay.
We used to go to wrestling shows. I used to get Starbucks coffee snuck into the wrestling shows because the places didn't have coffee. And his mom and I would sit in the back. We watched the wrestling. We'd be drinking our Starbucks coffee, man.
Was there anything else in the Starbucks? I was just curious.
Nope.
Little extra.
And
whipped
I'm going
cream?
to tell you what, man. That was my buddy. Every morning we'd
Right on.
get up and we'd talk.
All right.
Sean, I love you.
Absolutely. There you go. So
And slanty to everybody because happy St. Patrick's Day.
that's right. Happy Green this coming week.
God, I'm not looking forward to Thursday.
That's why I said it. Everybody go down to Fremont Street and harass Matt.
As a reminder, coming up
We're no
at
longer on speaking terms. We need a new co-host.
Notice the studio now just went green, as you noticed. All right, with that, just a reminder at the top of the hour coming up, yours truly will be hosting Aaron's Hour with Aaron Phillips with special guest Noel Casimiro. He is the owner of Fruit First Solar. He's coming on. He's the sponsor of the show, and he's going to be talking about the value of solar, etc. And then my featured guest, entertainer Hal Savar. I've known Hal for a while through some nonprofit groups that he used to offer his services to. Great singer, entertainer, and if all goes well, maybe we'll get him to sing a song or two during the show. So make sure you tune in at the top of the hour. As always, gentlemen, great show. I'm glad. This was a great show. A lot of great topics.
A lot of fun.
A lot of fun today. Gotta love it. We thank you for staying tuned. Next week, make sure you stay tuned on Facebook to see what we have coming up for next week because we never know. You never know. With that, we want to wish everybody a safe week. Thank you for watching. We'll see everybody next week right here on Thoughts Count Anywhere.